Strong winds and dry brush can come together to spark a catastrophic disaster. Wildfires are severely destructive, sometimes even deadly. It's a scenario all too familiar in Southern California, but in November 2008, the Sayre wildfire is like none other. Tearing through homes and jumping freeways, the wildfire threatens thousands of lives. Determined firefighters battle to get the upper hand.
It was the longest night of my career.
Battalion Chief Corey Rose is the first chief on scene in Sylmar this night. He's counting on the people who live here to make the right choices as the fire moves closer. Would you know what to do if a wildfire is bearing down on your neighborhood? Would you? A. Grab the hose and get to the highest point on your property so you can fight the fire. B. Gather essential items, including paperwork, and pack them in your car. Or C. Turn off all the lights inside your house. Panic easily sets in, but you must stay calm. Josh and Carol Prescott, as well as their neighbors in the Oak Ridge Mobile Home Park, had been threatened by wildfires before, but nothing quite like this one.
I looked out my front door. It was just unbelievably windy, and we're at the bottom of a canyon.
When the winds really got bad and all, that's when the nerves started kicking in more.
A firestorm is coming straight toward them, fueled by intense winds.
Very hot, dry winds called the Santa Anas can reduce the humidity even more, and that strong wind can also drive oxygen into the fire and make it stronger.
The fire is moving quickly and consuming everything in its path. The threat to homes and people is mounting. A massive wildfire is moving quickly and consuming everything in its path. The threat to homes and people is mounting. If this blaze is racing towards your doorstep, what's the first thing you should do? If you hustle and gather your personal belongings, you're moving in the right direction.
The first thing you need to do is to have a plan. We refer to the 6 Ps. So you have all your papers, important documents, prescriptions, personal computer. They need pictures. They need priceless memorabilia you want to keep track of. And the last thing is plastics. You want to have credit cards, debit cards, and things like that.
I grabbed papers, computer, some pictures, and after a while you're not really thinking and it sort of becomes just a haze.
If you chose to use a hose to defend your home, that would be a dangerous mistake.
There's very little a garden hose can do, and unless you're trained on how much it can do, it might be an inappropriate action to take, and it could cost you your life.
If your first thought was to turn off all the lights in your home, you actually want to do the opposite.
One thing we recommend that all residents do when the evacuation order is in place is to turn on your lights. That way the fire departments can see inside the home.
The Prescotts have packed some belongings, and they can tell the situation is getting worse by the moment. It's time to evacuate.
We had to hold on to the back of the trailer to stand up because the wind was blowing so hard.
Carl Murillo evacuated long before most of his neighbors. He took refuge at a nearby hotel and watched the disaster unfold on TV.
We could see the fire was moving into the park, and that's when the electricity went off.
Evacuating early allows the fire department to access the roads that are free of any other traffic.
Fire often moves quickly, but in the Sayre fire, extreme winds fanned the flames.
The wind was the biggest contributor. The wind was gusting up to 70 miles an hour in the foothills there. It's a Santa Ana event. Once this got established, it was off the races. There was no way that we're going to stop it. It was just a matter of getting everybody out of the way where the fire was going.
The Oak Ridge Mobile Home Park never stood a chance against the firestorm.
Those smaller fires would then grow to bigger fires, and then it went from one motorhome to the next to the next. And I remember stopping, looking up in the sky and said, God, just help me.
Evacuees had no choice but to prepare for the worst while hoping for the best. The Prescotts got a call from some family members who had seen the fire on TV.
The next morning, we talked to my brother-in-law in Colorado. We knew our house was gone. So we knew it was bad.
Others didn't know their home's fate until they were bussed into the park.
It was still smoldering. The firemen were still there putting water on it. We were shocked.
Somehow, Carl's house survived the fire. But this fire won't be forgotten.
We had a number of losses, over 600 structures and homes destroyed in this air fire. And everybody survived. So that should be a testimony to the success of being evacuated and getting out of the area.
The Sayre wildfire raged for 6 days and was the most destructive in Los Angeles history. If you are ever faced with a threatening wildfire, pack your car with essential belongings you plan to take at the first warning. Keep your house lights on so emergency rescue workers can see inside your home. And evacuate early to avoid jamming up roads needed by firefighters.
No matter what we think we can do and how good we are, we're not going to beat Mother Nature.